This is Dennis Presley. I'm doing my vlog on New Student Dialogue. I went to the Crossing Borders. Uh, it was a pretty good dialogue. It wasn't really what I expected, but it was better than what I expected because I was thinking that we go in and be sitting down and have kind of like a classroom setting, but instead it was more like a group discussion. Um, we talked about stereotypes and all different all around the world, and there's probably 3 or 4 different people that really spoke up, including me, and we just basically told about our own views and what we thought that most of society thought about other cultures. And we watched a video of a woman from Africa who wrote a book, and she said she started reading real early, and all that they could afford was the British writing because there weren't really that many African authors out there, and I mean those books were more expensive. So she was reading all about the British, and her one story about the British was that they were all white and rich and whatnot, and whenever she actually met them, she got another story because she knew what she was seeing, and she met different people and different views, and she thought that the only type of books that were out there were those that were written by English authors. But then she found the African authors, and she found that they had a certain story and whatnot. But anyways, her video pretty much explained that you shouldn't see just one side of other cultures. You have to learn about them and actively learn about it. And stereotypes, we talked about stereotypes, and we thought up as many as we could for all types of different cultures, and we found quite a few that were there, and we all discussed how most of the time people aren't actually being serious whenever they talk about stereotypes. They're kind of jokingly saying them, like not being serious, and even so stereotypes still have that same effect of everyone is like this or everyone is like that, but really it's not true. And the more you learn about certain types of cultures, the more you figure that out. And we talked about racism and how our schools were different, and like me, I came from a small school that had no Asians in it, and lots of Hispanics and lots of blacks and lots of whites, and I mean we never really joked any about Asians because we didn't have any. So I explained that and how we kind of had our own little stereotypes at our school about it because we didn't have any. And lots of people talked about their own schools and whatnot, and there's some people that had all different types of races and cultures and everything in their schools, and they explained how they were all okay, or they all hung out with each other or whatnot. And then we talked about 9/11 and how the stereotypes of the Muslim people came into our world then, and whether we thought that it would last. And we found that most of the people thought that it probably would last a little while, but maybe not too far in the future. But like maybe our kids would be talking about it, but not our grandkids. And we talked about how much of an impact that had, and how you don't know someone until you actually go up and meet them, and that the best way to do that is just to, go and talk to people and have conversations with them and just talk with them about their culture and what they do and where they come from. And then we'll talk to them about what we do and where we come from and our culture and everything. And pretty much we just had like a huge discussion about just racism and stereotypes and whatnot, and there was a pretty good consistency with our thoughts about it. And I thought it was kind of cool how the room started out kind of uncomfortable and nobody really wanted to talk, but then the more we did it, then the more people wanted to talk. And we played something called the connection game or something like that, where one person would stand up and say something, and then somebody else would say something that they did or that had to do with it, and we found that each and every one of us had something in common, and that you wouldn't think about seeing all the different types of people in the room, but everyone had something or another in common. And by the end, we all kind of knew each other, or didn't really know each other very well, but knew each other's opinions about everything and whatnot. And we all came to a consensus pretty much that everybody's their own person, and we thought that ourselves, we made kind of like a goal, or I made kind of like a goal to, go out and meet new people and not judge them before I know them. And I like to feel that everyone else made that goal for themselves too. And that's about all that we really did. Bye.